So I come from an entrepreneurial background. My grandmother, or I should start with my great-grandparents, they own a restaurant for over 40 years in Orangeburg, South Carolina. So in the kitchen is where she stayed, and she developed her skill set as a chef. Of course, she came from my great-grandparents who were chefs, so this was an innate ability for her to do. So on my mother's side of the family, I come from chefs and cooks. My father is the late Sonny Wright. He was the founder of the first black bank here in Florida. It was known as People's United, is now known as One United Bank. He owned a restaurant at one point, and he owned a hotel at one point. So being an entrepreneur is just something that's in my DNA. I can't rest. I've worn many hats. I've worked for the United States Army 11 years before coming into Wing Diva. I work with families of fallen soldiers. I've also worked in community development. I hold a master's degree in community economic development, so I've done a lot with strategic planning for communities and putting communities on the map that have been hit hard by drugs and alcohol. So I've done a lot with social work and human services development. Coming into the restaurant business was a natural for me because I tell people all the time that even when I was a lot younger, I was very skinny, but I've always been a fat girl in my mind and in my head. So I knew how to cook, and I just brought it to the forefront by opening a restaurant. About 20 years ago, I was in a wing competition. And I was in a competition against 7 contenders. It started with KFC, TGIF Fridays, and some local places in Wilmington, Delaware. I won that competition. And in winning that competition, it gave me the courage to open my own restaurant years later. We're here today in a larger location, 2,500 square feet. It's dine-in and takeout, but right now, because of COVID, we're doing small dine-in, not too large of numbers. I want to talk to you a little bit about what we have on our menu, if that's okay with you. So everything here is made fresh to order. We are a place where you come in, you order your food, and it's done right then and there. I hated going to restaurants in the past where you would order your food, you first smell it from the door, or outside, and it smells great. You get inside, you order the food, and it tastes nothing like what you're smelling. Here, we're truth in lending, or truth in advertising, I should say. So whatever you smell is definitely the great taste that you'll have behind it. Our flavors are built. For instance, I have a mango habanero sauce. I like to talk about that a lot because you don't have to search for it. You don't have to search for the mango. You don't have to search for the habanero. It is all right there for you. So it's not a commercialized taste. This is like eating at home at your mother's dining room table. With Wing Diva, I want it to be a place of encouragement and a place of happiness. Coming into Wing Diva, you should feel like you're at home. I always tell people, feel like you're at Auntie's house when you're here. The great thing about Wing Diva is that you can customize whatever we have on the menu. As long as you don't go outside of the boundaries with the real crazy stuff, you can come in and pretty much do whatever you like here. When I first started a restaurant, it was simply because I wanted to be able to engage people in their eating and dining process. I wanted to be able to give them great food, great service, and be able to feel like they were at home. So this is how Wing Diva began in terms of a restaurant. But how it truly began, we have to travel back several years ago, over 20 at this point. It wasn't just me who believed in me, but I definitely want to be able to say all hail to one of my best friends who's a soul sister to me, the late Renee Ash. Renee believed so much in me that she believed that my sauce, my wings, could beat out anybody on the map. And she was right, I did. And as of today, we are still pushing our award-winning honey barbecue sauce, along with about 30 or 40 other sauces that I make here at Wing Diva. So in the wing competition that I entered back in Wilmington, Delaware, I need to tell you a little bit about how I won. I won for what we now call my award-winning honey barbecue wings, or honey barbecue sauce. And to them, it was a dipping sauce, and so now I use it on the wings. Many of you will remember when Kentucky Fried Chicken, that is now KFC, was Kentucky Fried Chicken. They came out with this barbecue sauce, and I always thought that I could do it better.
We can do a little something in the kitchen.